Hello. I wanted to give you a brief introduction on how to use classroom trackers. The purpose of these trackers is to have a real-time record of student mastery related to SPIs, both individually and as a group. The process: teacher creates a 5-question tracker quiz each week. Each question relates to a specific SPI. The results for each quiz are then added to the cumulative tracker. The product is a spreadsheet that tracks each student's class's progress toward SPI mastery. There are 3 important components to the classroom tracker. First is an example that you see on the screen of the frameworks. This particular example is an example of 6th grade math. The frameworks tells you the reporting category and the specific SPIs in that category. It also tells you the weight of that category on the state assessment, as well as the approximate number of items from that category that would be on the assessment. The next important tool is the 5-question tracker template. This template's used to keep track of each of the 5-question tests that are given on a weekly basis. And I'm going to show you how those are filled in just a minute. The other portion of this tool is the cumulative tracker. It's organized by reporting category. Each color represents a reporting category, and those categories are expandable by SPI, so you can track multiple tests related to any one SPI. Let's begin by looking at the 5-question tracker template. These can be kept as separate files, or as you see here, as multiple tabs within the same file or same document along with the cumulative tracker. Okay, we'll assume I've already made my test for this week. So when I come to the tracker template, I want to indicate on the template the specific SPI associated with each of the 5 questions. Now I've put a shortened version here of the 6th grade SPIs. I understand what they mean, and it'll help me go a little quicker as I fill out this template. Also in this template, we will put our students' names for this particular class. You can do all of your classes as one group or each class as its own group. I will then give the students the test. After the test is concluded, I'll grade it, and a student for any particular question either gets a 100 or 0. They either get the question correct or they miss it. And so I will go in and I will add the scores for each question for each student. You'll notice to the right it is keeping a running percentage for each student for the whole test, and then you'll also notice at the bottom it is keeping a running percentage of mastery for each question for this particular test, as well as the overall percentage of the class of mastery of these 5 questions related to specific SPI. The next step is actually getting the data placed into the cumulative tracker. Now, one thing is handy about the 5-question template is that at any point you can go back and review the data just for this one specific test, this particular test I gave on March the 5th. So I can go back and review the data just from that test at any point. Next, we want to get the data placed into the cumulative tracker. First, I want to be sure that my student list on my 5-question tracker or template matches the same the list that's on my cumulative tracker. They need to be in the same order and the same group of students. So on March the 5th, I noticed question 1 was related to SPI 1.3. When I come to the cumulative tracker, I can expand by SPI by clicking the plus sign related to that above it, and it expands. So I would come here, select the column under 1.3, copy those values, place those values here under March the 5th. I'll notice also I did 2.5 on this test. Same process. Select all of the student scores, copy. I'll come back to the cumulative tracker, expand 2.5, and I can mark that column as March the 5th, so I'll know exactly when I gave that particular test. When I collapse this, you'll notice that the running total for each SPI remains there. If I want to see the individual test, I simply expand it. If I'm giving more than 4 tests, which most likely you will if you begin using this in the fall semester, I'll come to the column letter, select that, say insert, and it will create for me another column. Your formulas for your total will automatically adjust, and then you would follow the same procedure for each individual test. For the SPI, copy that test's results, paste those into the cumulative tracker. As you do that, and at any point you can scroll down, and at the bottom you will see the running percentage of mastery based on the test that you've given thus far. It will show you that by individual student as well as the class as a whole. And then this information can help guide you in making the decisions related to instruction for this particular group of students. I wanted to give you just a couple of time-saving tips. You'll notice on my tracker I have the cumulative tracker and each of the individual tests as separate tabs within the same document. This makes it real handy to be able to go back and reference any one particular test, as well as quickly access the cumulative tracker. So let me show you how to do that in the quickest way. So I've given a test here on March the 5th. Say I'm going to give another one on March the 10th. I come to this tab name, right click, and say move for copy, create copy, and I'm going to put it before sheet March 5. So you'll notice now I have one March 5th and one March 5th too. I'll right click that tab again, rename, now I will need to select over all of my student results and clear those out, as well as the SPIs related to those questions. And now I have a blank template ready for me to build my test and add proper SPI here. The frameworks we referenced earlier becomes very handy in making sure we understand what those specific SPIs are within the reporting categories, and also using the weights of these categories for the assessment gives us an indication of how often we should be tracking any particular SPI. Hope these tools have been or will be helpful for you, and I wish you the best of luck.